Hey, peace to the chat. This is BBN, member BMT coming at you again. I wanted to do a more in-depth rebuttal towards a show done by Faith and CK Screen Learning. And the reason why I wanted to do a rebuttal to it, was they did it on the premise of men have not the same amount of access to welfare as women. And I understood why they were saying what they were saying. I've had my dealings with the welfare system and everything. And one of the big things that, a lot of us, especially young adults, have to realize is a lot of us are generational welfare kids. And you're probably saying, well, what is that? BMT, what is a generational welfare kid? Well, a generational welfare kid is a child that has been born into a system of welfare and welfare programs where they thought that was the norm to be at a certain cap level when it comes to getting certain type of social programs. And in getting those programs, it kind of made the person docile when it came to getting food, equipment, healthcare, nourishment, housing, competing in certain types of aspects of life, because they had this false sense of security, that that's the system's job to take care of you. And for some grain of truth, that is true. The system, you pay into it, it's supposed to do its job and kick in. However, it's not the system's job to take care of you. That's the problem with being a generational welfare kid. You're so used to that surrogate parenting of a system taking care of you, you normalize it to a norm where you think it's normal. And having certain types of advancements, and literally doing things for you. And it shows in men and women in different aspects of their lifestyle, how they live. Look how we sing about it, praise about it, talk about it. And I'm not saying that all types of people are generational welfare kids. There's all types of people. But one of the main strenuous aspects that goes on is that trying to wean yourself off of something that you were already born into, And that's a harder process because you're starting to actually feel the pressure by yourself. And I can tell you, it's hard. I can tell you it's very hard because, normally you'll say, well, my grocery bill without, subsidized programs, was probably like $100 or probably like $200. My grocery bill at my house is $400 to $500 a month. I got a full family, 4 kids, me, Melissa. That's 6 people. I got 2 boys that they eat like teenagers and almost men. I can imagine when they become teenagers, boys eat. And the girls, they eat well too. You know what I'm saying? The old lady, she eats, but not really. I think she just nitpicks. But, I mean, they eat. Healthcare for the most part, and I got to be real, a lot of young people don't understand or don't really invest in the value of healthcare like that, unless their parents already have them sign up for that, because they believe that I've never been sick, I'll never get sick, or something like that type of mindset that boggles me. Because then when they do get hit, it's hard for they try to run to the ER or some type of facilitated clinic and say, hey, I need you to do for me which I should have been doing normal checkups. Because see, most people don't really go get normal checkups for the most part. But if you have a certain type of health care, you know, and this is something that, you know, and I watch these things happen a lot. I watch these things take place, and you tend to ask these people, are you trying to get off of that system? Now, we like to always say, well, the women are on welfare. That's not necessarily true. If they were born into a system that, let's be honest, that most of these social programs were developed for children. Majority of these social programs were developed for children. They weren't developed for men or women. They were set up for children. Sorry. The child needs a place, a roof over their home. Child needs food. It's for children and elderly, for the most part. It's just that the adults are the predominantary guardianship. Like most elderly people, they get taken care of by their kids. Most kids get taken care of their parents. So I understand that, yeah, you see a predominant flux of women doing the majority of the system, because they're majority of the gatekeepers, or literally the people that usually take on their parents or you know, take care of the children, you know. And you know, it is what it is. But a lot of you know, the stigmatism that men can't try to apply for these systems, they can, but they don't know. A lot of men don't know how to, or it's looked at as less masculine. They're looked at as less masculine. Social Security, SSI, SSDI. You know, a lot of people don't invest in social programming. Another key factor when we talk about these generational welfare kids, some of them that do wean themselves off. Now let me hit at it for men first. Fellas, men don't really invest in social programs for men. We really don't. Because in the hindsight of a man's mind, they look at as having to ask for an outsourced help, namely a program, makes you look weak or poor. Asking for a social program makes the man look weak or poor, or like he's lacking in life. However, like, we see a good group of men staying with an in-law, a family member, a woman, staying on some type of system, but they don't want to use the system like other people have been using the system. It's a fact. But it don't look like they're weak, or they're being shamed, or that they're less than, or literally that they're not doing their job. Stuff like that. And I'm like, well, when I was young and I didn't have it like that, hey, I went and got food stamps. Had my name on the card and everything. I would get $280 a month on that card. They going up to $300. I didn't care what people said about me. At the time, I knew I needed it. I had no problem going to, the food bank. Medicaid. That took a little bit more work, maneuvering, but I had to get the right information and patience. But when I got a Medicaid card, I made it work. Men, we have a stigmatism of us using certain type of welfare programs that makes you look weak or less manly, or like you came up short in life, which is not the truth. You can be a successful man, even if you're on the programs. It just don't stay on the programs. Now, let's get it over to the females, to the women. Women getting on these programs, I'm not going to say that it's like overabundance, But the thing about being on these programs for a woman is having the accountability of getting yourself off the program. I get it. The money looks good. I get it. You're saving a lot. I get that, hey, you're able to do more things with your life. But the problem is you're not truly at your 100%. You're not. You're really at 40, probably 55%, if that. Because you're technically, all you're doing is living off of a system that is made to have a ceiling where you can't really grow. And some people are fine with not growing because that means that, hey, if the minute I get too high up, I get kicked off the system. People don't want to deal with me. My talking points starting to come off as egotistical because I'm speaking from a point of authority. You know, I'm being for real. Like, whenever I talk to people that are living in some type of social program and they're trying to tell me you need to do this, you need to do that, and I'm like, wow, talk about the pot calling the kettle black. Like, how you gonna tell me I need to do X, Y, and Z? You'll tell me how much money you make and what you do and all that said stuff. But then when we actually say, oh, well, you're on a welfare program, well, I get you're not as strong as you think you are because you're having to ask, the surrogate system for help. And that doesn't make you look strong at all. It makes you look weak. However, we'll have it where other cultures of people will come and jump on the system and work for the system and take advantage of the system, but they don't compare themselves to you. They don't use your talking points. Being a generational welfare kid don't mean you got to be content. I know some kids that literally they were born into that, and even though that their parents or whoever they were with does that, they already understand that, hey, this is not the end all be all. I can get myself off of this. I just have to work hard and apply myself. I just have to actually focus on what is my gift and get out of here. And actually a good portion of us do that. We actually put in the time, the effort. We actually go to the classes, go pick up a trade, go to the military, go into a workforce type of world. There are all types of ways to get out of being a generational welfare kid. So that way your kid doesn't have to go through that generational curse of always being on it. And I mean, I'm not talking down on people who have to get social services done. I'm not talking down on the people. That is not my intent to talk down on anybody or lower or belittle anybody's position. But we also cannot overlook the fact that there are people that are on the system, but they're not trying to get off the system. They're trying to actually stay with the system because it validates that, hey, I'm doing better than y'all, but I'm not trying to compete with y'all. I can talk my trash from my corner, but guess what? I ain't trying to fix up my community. I'm just trying to stick on my corner. That's all I got to say when it comes to that about the generational welfare kids. You have some of those who are fine with the way things are, who are fine with the disparities, who understand that, hey, nothing good really comes out from this type of system. But you know what? Hell with it. I like it. So in saying that, I'm BBN. Check out our channels. Faith, Screen Learning, D. Darrell, and Ray Ray. I'll see you guys later. Peace.